Namaste, my captains and Capricorn Risings, and welcome to Soul Horoscope Superscope. My name is Christopher Witecki. I'm a modern mystic and a soul biographer here to help you put the pieces of your story together. I also practice what I call step astrology. I believe each of the 12 signs is naturally born good at one step. And when you're a Capricorn or a Capricorn Rising, you are good at Step 8. And these are the steps to serious joy, the steps to enlightenment. There are 12 steps actually, and you're the 8th step. The 8th step is when we decide. And mostly what we decide is what we don't want in life, and that's what leaves us for what we can do. But a lot of times Capricorns, Capricorn Risings get caught in all the don'ts to the point where they don't have any options for themselves anymore. And what are you working on this month when it comes to don'ting things? Well, I think you're don'ting over soul capital, or self-esteem, or money. Manifestation, abundance. One of the sensitive topics for Capricorns and Capricorn Risings, your ability to draw in abundance. Now, with the laws of reality and the incarnation and how things work, you have to feel like you're worth $1 million in order to draw in $1 million. And so the Step 8s, the Capricorns and Capricorn Risings, are moving into the master passionate shui, the manifestation part of abundance. And in order to manifest, you have to surrender to your personal feelings about certain issues, because the emotional field is the one that connects inner and outer reality. It is the step 2 of all kinds of reality, or Cancer. They're very good at that. So this week, what are you doing? Well, you're stepping into the passion of manifestation. And this week, there's going to be a full moon at the end of the week where there will be a tug of war between your values and what you want to manifest and where the lines are really drawn. Now, here's the thing. You technically want it all. All right? Capricorns, Capricorn Risings have Leo in the 8th house. They want it all. Their heart wants everything. That's the nature of it. But the reality is you can't have everything. You can only put circles around, step 0, the things that are most important to your heart. And this is the kind of crude lesson that Capricorns, Capricorn Risings are going through this week. The Step 8s have to decide what's really important. And you have to go into the passion knowing this ahead of time, because if you don't, you'll get lost in it, as you well know. Now, some other keys that are very important to this week. One is, when it comes to your own thoughts, extremely important that you are self-merciful, that you are nice to yourself, and that you are compassionate. So every time you want to go into that Pisces worry, you want to say to yourself, it's okay. It's okay. Those are the magic words. It's okay. I don't know, I'm going to pay the rent. It's okay. I don't know what Judy was saying. It's okay. I'm not sure why they didn't call me back. It's okay. It's always okay. It has to be okay. Self-compassion is the lubricant to manifestation. If you're not compassionate to yourself, you won't be able to move forward. Now, here's another thing. When it comes to feeling okay, you have to innovate that process. So every week, every day, you have to try harder at making yourself feel good. This is super important, especially about career issues. Don't let yourself get pulled into career drama and suddenly find yourself sick to your stomach. The lesson here is you will not be anything in the career, you will not be anything in life if you're not feeling good. You won't feel good unless you're self-merciful in your thoughts. And if you don't feel good and you aren't self-merciful in your thoughts, we won't manifest abundance. So you can see how all the steps kind of go together. One last thing that I want to bring up that I think is super important is the tug-of-war between career and feeling good. Now, the truth is you're extremely driven for career right now. And some of that career drive or future planning is actually putting pressure on you making more money. I want you to separate the two, really. What your heart wants to do out there in your career does not necessarily determine what your money will be. It's time to think outside the box. It's time to have a different approach entirely to abundance and career. They don't have to go together. And this is a square that's happening, and also this is a pressure happening between security and moving forward. You are going to do well in your career no matter what, Capricorn. Now, this brings me to the next section of my new Superscope, which deals with what I call the VQ rating of a person, or your Venus quotient. I believe everyone has a quotient for potential of love, and that's where your Venus was when you were born. So if Venus was in Capricorn when you were born, you have an 8 VQ. That means that you are very controlling with love, and it means that you have to be in complete control of yourself before you jump into love. 8 VQs need to know exactly where they stand before they jump in, because once an 8 VQ jumps in, it's everything. And that's how Capricorn loves you. all or nothing kind of, really. So that said, where are the 8 VQs, or where are Capricorns in love right now? A lot of Capricorn clients asking me in personal readings, where's my love life? Well, here's the deal. Basically, your future lover cannot spot you in a crowd right now. That's because your behavior and actions are not based on where your heart really is. And that's the whole problem with Capricorns at large. That your actions, that your rules, what your priorities are, it's not always the heart. It's not always the heart. You always say to yourself, well, the heart will be important once these things are done. But see, the universe and God never asked anyone to wait more than one step to be loved. You're allowed to be loved and feel love in the first step. So for the Venus 8Qs, or for the Capricorns when it comes to love, it's about acting differently and stepping into a different behavior in the moment that is indicative of the love you want. So in other words, treat yourself the way you want to be loved right now until further notice, and listen to your higher self when it comes to that. And when I say treat yourself the way you want to be loved, well, I also mean when it comes to your thoughts. That's super important. And you're going to be working on attitude and thoughts and mind games really here in the 3rd week of February in a big way. So the faster you can get to treating yourself nicely in your head, the better. So by the way, if you want to get a hold of me, a couple of ways. If you're a woman and you want some help finding your VQ number, there's a lot more to it than just the VQ. Come on down to gavenus.me. That's a Facebook social network that we're creating for women to help women. It's a Venus Empowerment Now is what I call it. So Venus, come on down and join. Now for the men, we actually will help you too, but you got to come down to soulmart.me. In fact, if you want a little glimpse of what's going on for Valentine's Day, I have manifested a Megascope February. This is a 1 month based on Capricorns or Capricorn Risings, available for $11.11 at soulmart.me, where I'll give you the full subscription of what's going on this month ahead of time, right? And one of the big topics is self-mercy. In the 3rd week of February, Caps and Cap Risings have got to be nice to themselves. This is going to be a turning point in your personal story. But if you want to look up your VQ, come on our mailing list, or come on down and check out any of the free content I have, including the Super Scopes, which are now being housed at soulmart.me, while Soul Garden is being rebuilt. All right, that's all I have for the VQ8s, the Capricorns and the Cap Risings, otherwise known as the Captains of the Zodiac. I will see you in 7 days with more. Until then, live, love, be.